in comparison to this other thing that's super exciting. So I'll play this clip, and then Scotty's going to take it over.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Off into space. Man, that takes real teamwork. And here's a team of junior spacemen with an out-of-this-world breakfast.
Comparing the marketing of yesteryear to the marketing of today is like comparing a BB gun to a smart bomb. It's not the same as when I was a kid, or even when the people who are young adults today were kids. It's much more sophisticated and it's much more pervasive. It's not that products themselves are bad or good. It's the notion of manipulating children into buying the products. In 1998, Western International Media, Century City, and Lieberman Research Worldwide conducted a study on nagging.
We asked parents to keep a diary for 3 weeks and to record every time, you could imagine, every time their child nagged them for a product. We asked them to record when, where, and why.
This study was not to help parents cope with nagging. It was to help corporations help children nag for their products more effectively.
Anywhere from 20% to 40% of purchases would not have occurred unless the child had nagged their parents. That is, we found, for example, a quarter of all visits to theme parks wouldn't have occurred unless a child nagged their parents. 4 out of 10 visits to places like Chuck E. Cheese would not have occurred. And any parent would understand that. You know, when I think of Chuck E. Cheese, oh my goodness, it's noise. And there's so many kids. Why would I want to spend 2 hours there? But if the child nags enough, you're going to go. We saw the same thing with movies, with home video, with fast food. You can manipulate consumers into wanting and therefore buying your products. It's a game.
Children are not little adults. Their minds aren't developed. And what's happening is that marketers are playing to their developmental vulnerabilities. The advertising that children are exposed to today is honed by psychologists. It's enhanced by media technology that nobody ever thought was possible.
The more insight you have about the consumer, the more creative you'll be in your communication strategies. So if that takes a psychologist, yeah, we want one of those on staff.
I'm not saying that it's wrong to make things for children. You know, and I also think it's important to distinguish between psychologists who work on products for children, who help you know, toy corporations make toys that are developmentally appropriate. I think that's great. That's different from selling the toys directly to the children.
Initiative is huge. I think in the US, we place about $12 billion of media time. So we'll put it on TV, we'll put it in print, we'll put it out in outdoor, we'll buy radio time. So we're the biggest buyers of advertising time and space in the US and in the world.
One family cannot combat an industry that spends $12 billion a year trying to get their children. They can't do it.
They are tomorrow's adult consumers, so start talking with them now, build that relationship when they're younger, and you've got them as an adult. Somebody asked me, Lucy, is that ethical? You're essentially manipulating these children. Well, yeah, is it ethical? I don't know. But our role at Initiative is to move products. And if we know you move products with a certain creative execution, placed in a certain type of media vehicle, then we've done our job.
Some of the best creative minds are employed to assure our faith in the corporate worldview. They seduce us with beguiling illusions designed to divert our minds and manufacture our consent.
It's a little bit scary that there's a world of people sitting in boardrooms right now that want to sell you things. The only reason Seinfeld and all those television shows make so much money is because they sell that block of advertising time. So if man is doing all of this for money and all these different tricks of psychology and all these different things to sell you a product. And we all believe that there's a spiritual war going on here. What can Satan use with this exact same technology in the movies? You see, we're dealing with something that's supernatural here. We all believe in the supernatural world, right? Don't you kind of see that coming out in the movies a lot? Yep. Dealing with a lot of supernatural things. In Ephesians 6:12, for we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this age, and against the spiritual hosts of wickedness in heavenly places. First of all, what do you call this whole business? What is this entire business called? Entertainment, right? This is an interesting word. If you take just the word to enter, means to come in. Tain means to possess. And ment means the state of. If you put just those words together, to come in, possess, and keep in a state of possession. That's what this business is called. In Matthew 6:22 and 23, we read, the lamp of the body is the eye. If the eye is good, your whole body will be full of light. But if your eye is bad, your whole body will be full of darkness. If, therefore, the light that is in you is darkness, how great is that darkness? What this is basically telling us is that the only way that we fill our souls with the substance of life is pretty much through our eyes. So this is why we're talking about this whole thing. This is why this whole project came about, is we want to show a distinction between what you watch can affect you. Just like if they're advertising fast food to you, we all go out and buy the products. Since we're dealing with something supernatural, let's talk about the superheroes. If you take the word heroes and look at it in the dictionary, it's a man of distinguished courage or ability, admired by his brave deeds and noble qualities, classical mythology. Or number two, a being of godlike prowess and beneficence who often came to be honored as divinity. That's just in the Webster Dictionary. I pulled that out of. So superheroes, in other words, you could pretty much say super God. Could you not?